Good afternoon, my friends. It's lovely to have you back. So as you can see, I've got a suit and bunk bed stream, which is the perfect time to play some more Gwent. And today I'm going to continue the analysis of the Thronebreaker Roundup. I think I can fit everything that I didn't do in the first video in this one. Now, there will be a lot of stuff that you'll see that I won't talk about in this one because I maybe have already talked about it already in the first video. And I think a lot of this information is going over people's heads, or they're not watching the whole video, or I comment upon something that actually has larger implications. So in the future, over the weekend and stuff, I'll be doing videos regarding some of the smaller points which have big implications, you know, really talking about things that we now know, like provisions and stuff like that. So let's get on with this analysis. Nice analysis, KBT. So the first thing we can see here is Skellige Storm. Now, this is Thronebreaker and not Homecoming. However, its ability is pretty much what I said I thought it would be during the weather timer video that I did. Apply a hazard to an enemy row that deals 2/1/1 to the leftmost units on the row. We saw Biting Frost in Thronebreaker and it doesn't have a timer. So it's possible this is what it is like in Homecoming, but it just has a timer on it. This would correlate with everything we know about Biting Frost in Thronebreaker and in Homecoming and the comparisons between them. The next thing we saw is if you're in the campsite and you upgrade certain buildings, you can actually improve your army's recruit cap, allowing you to use stronger units. So regarding recruit cap, currently your recruit cap sits at 125. So this icon here, this section, these are actually not provisions, as I said in my first video, but actually a recruit cap. Which can be increased by improving buildings, as we just mentioned. However, I do think this will be provisions in Homecoming. I'm 100% certain on that. But in Thronebreaker, it's counted as recruit cap, which you can increase. And by increasing this, you can add stronger units into your deck. So we also learnt that in order to craft new cards, it does require the recruits resource up here, and you get recruits at conscription posts. We saw those in the first video, little like banners that you can click on which gain you recruits. You can also get recruits from upgrades. You get recruits after you win a battle and stuff. So here the tutorial is telling him to actually craft this card, and we can see down the bottom it's going to cost him some gold, some recruits, and some wood to craft the card, so he can actually put it in his deck. And if we go back, we can see this is the card that he was looking at, the, was it Wagenberg? So this 15 number is the amount of, in this case, recruit cap that it costs to put it into the deck. Okay, it costs 15. If this was Homecoming, that would be your provisions and how much provisions it costs to put it into your deck. But you actually craft the cards with these resources up here in Thronebreaker. So next up within this mess hall, we actually see this character here, the Grey Rider. Might be a reference to Lord of the Rings. Anyway, when he clicks on this particular character, he gets the statistics. So you get the total time spent, how many quests you've done in this current map. I believe there's 5 maps in Homecoming, each about 8 hours, was it, I think? 30 hours total. That math doesn't work. How many puzzles you've completed in the map, how many battles you've won in the current map, and how many golden chests, which I believe are based upon the treasure maps that you find. So a nice way to keep an eye on that for completionists. So here we've got another battle, and we can see some cards on here that we haven't seen before. So a harpy spawned 1 harpy egg, and we saw the harpy egg, and we saw quite a few abilities here like the forktail. I'm not going to go into those too much. However, I do want to mention this particular icon here. This is a new icon that we haven't seen before. It's a pentagram symbol, and I'm not entirely sure what it is, but from my best guess is that it means it's doomed. And that is because obviously this is a token which is spawned from that, and your eggs don't go into the graveyard usually. So that's most likely a doomed icon regarding the doom tag, and which is pretty cool. We can actually see what the harpy does, the harpy egg. This is the best screenshot I've got. It has a death wish. I think it says spawn and play a harpy, I think. But that's probably not relevant. But I do think that's probably a doomed tag icon there, which is a new icon for us. So here we can see another example of a puzzle in Thronebreaker. We've got the rules over here which look pretty cool. I think this hourglass might be the history of the last turns that were played. But I really want to bring your attention to the crushing trap here. First of all, I said this is an artifact card. I stick by that. Some people said that's not true because I used Lyria Trophy as an example, and that is also a banner card. I think they're 2 exclusive things. Banners are in Thronebreaker. I don't believe they're in Homecoming. but this is an artifact card. I stick by that. It has spying, so it plays on the opponent's side of the board. It's restraint. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Any thoughts on that? Feel free to tell me. And it sets the power of all units on the road to the average of all units' power, then destroys self. So here we've got a treasure map, and this particular piece of footage is going to show us an example of what we receive at the end of a treasure map. Okay, so just speeding it up a little bit. He's going to run out. The treasure map was showing us a farm, and here is the farm. When he runs near it, an icon appears. So they don't actually appear until you get near it, which is really good because that kind of makes it a treasure hunt. He gets a golden chest, and out of the chest he gets 240 gold. He may get slightly more, but the clip basically ends there, unfortunately. So he may get more than that, but at the minute he's just getting some gold resources for that treasure map. So here we have an example of the Nilfgaardian board, and it looks really good. You've got the banners, you've got the guards down the side, you've got all these shadows of pikes, which just look really cool. I think, although it's nighttime, I can easily see the cards. It looks really nice to me. I actually really like the look of that, and it's a nice one that might be Nilfgaard, or it might be a Thronebreaker exclusive thing. We will see. So here we can see he's looking around a map, and I really want to bring your attention to these winged creatures up here and down here. We've got some winged beasts and stuff, which kind of just demonstrate. And if I move on to some of the images that we've seen on news articles and stuff, for example, we get to see this, okay? And this is obviously a real life map, but this is a map that we just saw. That was the winged beast down there, and that was the winged beast up there. Okay, so this is a legitimate map of the first zone or map of the game, and you can just kind of see its scale. Okay, and that's what I wanted to bring your attention here. And there's other maps that we've saw too. We saw that map as well. It's a little smaller, it looks like, but still quite big in scale. We've got that one. We've got that one, Mahakam, which looks pretty damn cool. And finally, we've got that one. So 5 maps, really big in scale, it seems. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that these are the maps that you might be playing with, most likely, because we've seen the connection between the starter map and the first map that we saw, this one. So for that type of scale, it's going to be pretty cool. So here we can see a sort of quest option. He's got the choice to have lower morale, but gain what looks like a treasure map, or he has the choice of increasing his morale, which again, morale gives +1 strength on all your units, and negative morale gives -1 strength on all your units, so it makes the game harder. So in this section, I just wanted to draw your attention to this really cool wyvern down here, which is obviously going to be a fight, but it should be a badass one. That'd be a really nice one to just find. You see that in the map and you're like, oh, how do I get there? That's really cool. Next thing I want to talk about is this particular one, another sort of quest choice. He can choose to do something here. I haven't translated it, but he gets nothing, or he can spend 100 gold and get a card fragment. And this is the first time we'll actually get to see what card fragments look like and understand the general idea. I think we can assume, but there you go. Okay, so he got a card fragment for Commander's Horn. It's a gold special card apparently, but I guess if he collects probably about 3 or 4 of these, he owns that card. And this is like a treasure hunting kind of game plan here, where you make right choices, get card fragments, collect it together, and then you get that in your deck and it'll be a good thing. So that's a pretty cool feature. I like that. So here again we have another example of a puzzle. This particular guy is going to move all the way to the right, and if he gets to the right you lose, is essentially the thing. We can see these icons. It's got resilience and it's got immune, and they're stacking on top of each other. So this is probably how it's going to work. If a unit has multiple icons, you'll start stacking on top of each other. I think there might be some icons that go on the right. If it had Doomed as well, it would probably go above there, because we've seen Doom goes on the left too. So this is a screenshot that I took from the Thronebreaker reveal trailer. And this seems to be Gabor Zigrin, the card that was imitating Luigi, one of the CD Projekt Red developers. And we can see him in another screenshot here. So it seems like we'll get to see the origins of Gabor Zigrin, as well as our favourite shopkeeper, Shoop. Now, there's quite a large gameplay section of Shoop here. I'm not going to go through it because for obvious spoilers, you can watch it yourself. But it is pretty cool. It looks like we'll be able to see the origin of Shoop and how he plays out. We get to see what Shoop does in Thronebreaker and get to play this puzzle in order to interact with him in some way. I do like these little icons down here, which kind of gives you an idea of how the fight's going to go. So for instance, we've got shortened battle, which means we'll go straight to round 3, and we've got special rules. And we'll see that very soon when I do this. Here we go, shortened battle. We go straight to round 3, and it lasts 1 round. So in this particular fight, where we have to fight the commander Vreemd, which is a really nice joke about him becoming a leader card by accident, we'll get a mulligan screen. Now we know Queen Meve has 6 mulligans because she has the gem with the 6. This is confirmed to be mulligans now because we have 6 mulligans there. Now in this particular first phase, he chose not to mulligan any of the cards. He just finished redrawing without mulliganing any of them. However, if we fast forward into the round 2 of the game, he still has all 6 mulligans. Okay, so what I'm trying to emphasize here is that your mulligans are for the entirety of the game and not just for one particular round as it is currently in Gwent. In Homecoming, it will be for all 3 rounds, your mulligans. So he's mulliganed 1 card here, so he's only got 5 left. He finishes the redraw. So if we fast forward to round 3, we'll find out that Queen Meve only has 5 mulligans left because she's used 1 already. So this basically confirms that your mulligans are for the entirety of your Gwent match and not specifically you get 2 mulligans here and 3 mulligans there or whatever like it is current Gwent, where you get, I believe it's 3 in round 1 and then 1 in round 2 and 1 in round 3. It's you get your mulligans based on your leader and they sit with you for the rest of the game. So there's a bit of a strategy about playing a more risky deck and using your mulligans very early, or playing a safer deck and then using all your mulligans in round 3 to get the best possible hand you could probably go for. So there's a lot of implications based on mulligans lasting for the entire Gwent match. After winning that particular battle, we've got this text, Caldwell, ride ahead to Lyria, and etc. And here we get to see our first instance of losing cards from our particular deck, our army, and gaining cards based on the story. So we lost Count Caldwell and we gained, I believe it's a fake Florin, is it? Yes. Okay, we don't quite know what that does. Obviously it's the treason icon, but that's the first indication of losing and gaining cards based on story or choices. So our next thing is a screenshot just from the GOG page. Shows one of these really cool, really epic puzzles where we've got the Exodia Manticore, which is a badass, may I just say. And I love how every piece has a different thing. So its tail with the venom has a charge cooldown. Its right hand, his left hand has big armor. His right hand is wounded. Whether you did that, I don't know. His wings are both 14. His main body is 45. It's so thematically cool. And you've seen this like kind of crazy thing here. I don't even know if that's just an ability or whether it's a new type of weather or something. Because as you can see, there's a big massive fissure opening up here. So that could possibly be another piece of weather. However, it's weird that all the ones above are actually getting wounded rather than the ones which the row seems to be affecting. So really nice screenshot. That's just a great one to look at. And now we're just kind of going through some of the screenshots that we saw that you can see tiny things on. We are coming to the end of the video now, but here we can see a character which you may or may not know of, Ardell Ipdai. I did a lore video based on Amir and he was referenced in that, so there's cool tides there. We get to see the Skellige card back here, which is pretty interesting. We haven't saw that yet. So there's the Skellige card back, which looks damn cool. We've got, I don't know, Lippy Goodmund, cool guy. Like him, very nice. Clearly it's some sort of like difficult puzzle because this guy is insane. But thank you for watching. This is the end of the video. Hopefully you saw something that maybe you didn't see, you know, that you overlooked, or maybe you just got excited about some of the stuff that you saw. I definitely am really excited for this. I think a lot of people are. It looks to be really good. I'm going to definitely be doing some Homecoming and Thronebreaker videos over the coming week, going into depth on some of the things that I really want to discuss. But thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll see you again very soon.